Baseball and Whatever with your host, Justin McAwee.
Because I was on campus and I had to appear like I was one of the cool kids, I would put the Star Wars book inside one of my textbooks so it looked like I was just studying for class.
All right, look, there's only one return, okay? And it ain't of the king, it's of the Jedi.
Vincent Francis Jankowitz IV.
I'm a glorified fact checker.
Last I checked, the most runs in a game wins.
Actually, I am a fact checker.
And Greg Probst.
If you look at most Bond fans movie rankings, they have Casino Royale and Majesties in their top two. For me, these actually rank in the bottom part of my list. I mean, I love them, but they don't compare to Diamond Cross Forever.
No, stop getting Bond wrong!
Well, hello! Sorry about that. Kept hitting the button. You could see mine and Vinny's lovely faces during the theme music intro. Hello, we are Baseball and Whatever. I'm Justin, there's Vinny. We are back with episode 68. This week we have tons of Cubs, White Sox, Bears, and we are going to be counting down our top 5 favorite sports video games. I can't speak for Vinny, but video games are what got me into sports, Vinny. Like, I learned the video game aspect first and then learned the rules of the games and then ended up going and playing those sports. So I'm excited to go talk about those. Really, yes. I know. It's crazy.
You didn't play the sport and then hone your skills from playing video games?
No, I honed my skills from playing video games and then said, let's go play this sport. That looks like fun.
Interesting. What about hockey, though?
Same thing with hockey. Same thing.
Really? It wasn't just watching Mighty Ducks?
No. Well, I knew of hockey before Mighty Ducks, and then actually it might have been like a chicken or egg kind of thing. It was pretty damn close, I'd say, between the two. But we will get into that later. This is episode 68. If you are new to the show, we are Baseball and Whatever. We talk baseball and sports, primarily Chicago, and then our second half is a segment we call the Whatever segment, where we pick something random and we talk about it for the rest of the show. So, if you would like to write into the show, we have actually quite a few comments this week. The YouTube channel, you can find us at youtube.com/baseball and whatever. You can tweet us at baseball and what. We are almost up to 850 followers. We are building a Twitter empire, as you were. You can find us on your variety of podcast apps: Apple, Spotify, Google, Anchor, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, all those great places. And lastly, and most importantly, you can also email the show at baseballwhatever@gmail.com, but most importantly, you can also text us or call and leave us a voicemail at 1-913-808-3278. That number again is 1-913-808-FART. Perfect timing, Vinny. All right, so as we like to start our show, this is episode 68. We're going to see if we can recount any famous or infamous athletes in Chicago that wore the number 68. This is getting progressively harder, Vinny, and I'm just going to tap out. I don't know anybody that wore 68 in Chicago. None. That's what I figured as much.
That's
so
sad,
what do you got for me, Vinny?
I have 68 for the Cubs. There's only one.
Okay.
Jorge Soler.
Oh, God.
2016.
How did I forget about good old
Shame on you.
Soler Power? How did I forget about him? Yeah.
I know. Should have come back. They should have signed him in the offseason.
They should have.
That's okay.
They should have.
For the White Sox, we have Dylan Covey, 2017-2019. Blake Smith, 2016. Scott, Snodgrass?
These snozberries taste like snozberries.
Snodgress.
No, sir. I don't know what that is.
I'm not going to touch that one. Okay, 2014, Jake Petrichka, 2013.
That sounds familiar, but I can't say I know for sure.
Jake. Gosh, he hasn't been here for, 3 episodes, and I've already forgotten his name. Greg. Would probably have. I feel like Greg's talked about him quite a bit. I'm sure he would probably say he's a bummer. He
probably would know, yes.
Eric Threets.
No.
2010.
Okay.
Threets, Threets. And then Doug Lindsay in 1993.
No. Couldn't tell you any of those guys.
Nothing.
Nope. They could not exist for all I know.
None of those guys played probably longer than Snodgrass and Threets, I think, combined for 4 years of playing between them. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I couldn't tell you any of those guys. They sound like a bunch of made-up names at this point.
They do.
So
maybe I am making them up. Who knows?
A good addition to the segment is maybe at some point when we get to the higher numbers, we just start making names up and we see who can figure out if they're real people or not.
Ooh, good one.
See, I'm always thinking.
That'd be good. Yeah, There we go. All right, for the Bears, we have Doug Kramer wearing it currently.
Okay.
He's a offensive lineman. Before him was James Daniels. Remember James Daniels?
I do remember James Daniels, yes.
Yep. Matt McCants. Matt Slauson. I remember Matt
Slauson, yes. I do remember him.
Frank Omivale.
Yes, I do remember him as well.
All right. Let's see. Jim Flanagan wore 68.
Was he in the early 90s, perhaps? Mid-90s?
Yes, 94.
I remember him on like Madden 94, 95, something like that. Yes, I do remember him.
That'd be about right. Yep.
Yeah,
he played for the Bears. He was 68 for 1 year, 99 from 95 to 2000. And then he also played with the Packers. Ew. And Packers, he was 75, San Francisco 75, and then also the Philadelphia Eagles was 79.
Nice.
Walter Payton Man of the Year award in 2000, so
wow.
He's got that going for
That's
him.
impressive. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's see here. Before Jim Flanagan, Jim Osborne from 1972 to 1984 would probably be the biggest name. Let's see. Yeah, I can't tell you much about him outside of he's a defensive tackle.
Okay.
He ended his career 186 games, 81 sacks. I'm sure Pretzel Vince would probably have a lot of.
He probably would know who that is.
More key stats and who that guy was. I'm sure he was pretty good if he played for 12 years with the Bears. So.
Most likely.
Yep. Other than that, another good football name is Howard Mudd.
Ooh.
1969 to 1970, and then the couple other guys that played for a year.
Howard Mudd,
50s and 60s.
I feel like that was like a Star Trek character too, and I'm not even a Star Trek fan, but I feel like I've heard that name before.
Nerd alert!
I'm not. I'm a Star Wars guy, not a Star Trek guy.
Yeah. Okay. Still the same.
Fair enough.
Okay. Blackhawks. Do you have anybody? Nobody.
No, nobody.
No. Slater
Cuckoo?
Is that how you
That
say
is how you pronounce it, yes.
Okay, I was going to butcher that. I was going to say Kokoek?
K-O-E-K, I believe. Cuckoo?
Yep.
Yes, he was a defenseman. I don't know if he's still with the team at this point, though.
No, his last year was 20. Well, maybe he is still with the team, but
okay.
It says last year for number 68 was 2020. So
okay,
he is currently with Edmonton, or was in 21 to 22 season. So
all right, good.
That
good
was
for him.
last year. Yeah.
Yes, correct. Okay.
Yep. And Steven Tepper, 1993.
No, that doesn't. I don't know that man at all.
All right.
I don't know that man. I apologize.
That's it for 68s in Chicago sports.
Nice. All right. Well, when we get to episode 69, I can think of at least one Bear that wore 69.
Nice.
So yes, I knew that was coming. All right. Well. Oh yeah. We do have quite a few comments. Would you like me to take the text line, or would you like to take the text line this time,
I'll
Vinny?
take the text line.
All right, go for it.
Pretzel Vince writes in.
Hey, everybody! An old man's talking.
Ted Karras had a brother that also played football. His name was Alex Karras.
I believe these were Bears that one of the numbers we referenced a few weeks ago.
Yep, it was Ted. Ted wore 67. Didn't really have much on him. And Pretzel Vince comes in with his great gem on Ted Karras saying he had a brother who played football. Thank you.
There you go.
Very riveting.
Hey, you know he's adding to the show. Any additions are great, so we'll take it.
Yeah. Ed also texts in. Do you know Ed?
Yes, I do. I used to play softball with him. Yes.
All right. Ed writes in. He says, "Love the show. You guys are doing a great job. Keep it up." I'll also add in that I hope LaRussa officially hangs it up. Don't we all? And I wish he did so about a year and a half ago. Reinsdorf has done his best to take Hans' legs out from underneath him. This season has made all of those 100 lost seasons feel like a pleasure. Oof, yikes. Yeah, I think everybody in White Sox Nation feels that way, outside of maybe some few Tony La Russa supporters out there that are
that are hanging on, and we can get into that. I found an article from a certain Paul Sullivan of the Chicago Tribune, I believe.
Oh, that guy's a boob.
Oh God, we'll get to him. He had some interesting things.
He's
to say.
a Chicago Tribune writer. Yes.
So we'll talk. I think we are officially blocked by him too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, we are. I got blocked after his post about the hotel prices on Saturday in was it Hotel Zachary? Someone posted an outrageous bill, and I said, well, you should probably do your job and realize that ticket prices in all of Chicago were up. Don't be a moron, or something along those lines. I called him a moron. I posted a GIF of Dwight calling him a moron. So I got blocked because of that. Yes.
Well, hey, it sounds like it was worth it in my opinion.
It was.
But, all right. Well, thank you, Ed. Thank you, Pretzel Vince. We appreciate that. We did have a couple tweets and YouTube comments, and I had one in-person comment from a relative of mine we'll get into from a second. Zach on Facebook said the Mariners were playing the White Sox, and the Sox won the first game. It was against Lance Lynn, so I'll let it slide. I hope the Mariners win the series, though. I believe, you'll have to correct me, Vinny, I think the White Sox took that series, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, 2-3.
So, yeah, they're still hanging in there. The 1420 Sports Bar podcast on Twitter said the Cubs, or any team, should not hold on to their prospects. Prospects are cool, but championships are cooler. Good show, guys. I think that was our conversation about what the Cubs should do next year, and also in addition to trading for Ohtani, as that's been floated a few times now. So thank you to those guys over there. And then lastly, my father... him and my mom are in to help watch Maddie while Eric and I are at work this week, or today and tomorrow. I don't know what day it is anymore.
It's Thursday.
Thank you. So he was outraged at my distaste in music, that I hate Jimmy Buffett so much, per last week's episode.
Other breaking news. Water. Wet.
He's like, put on that part of the show again. I want to watch this. So last night we watched that segment of the show on YouTube and on our TV. And I think you said your favorite Jimmy Buffett song was Tin Cup Chalice?
Yes.
Okay, so he went on, he's like, what did Vinny say? What's the name of that song? I said Tin Cup Chalice. He goes, Tin Cup Salad? That's not a Jimmy Buffett song. I said, no, Tin Cup Chalice. He goes, Tin Cup Castle? I said, no, Chalice. This went on for 5 minutes until finally he loaded it on his phone on YouTube, and he goes, "Oh, that's a good song. Vinny's got good taste in music." So Vinny, you won him over. And then he proceeded to tell me that I do like Jimmy Buffett. I just don't want to be. I'm trying to be cool and say that I don't like it.
You're trying to be like anti Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah,
trying
to be the cool guy.
Hip.
Yeah. So he doesn't know what he's talking about. He said it's great island music and I should enjoy it. So,
I told my wife that you didn't like Jimmy Buffett music, and she was actually it was my parents. So they were visiting on Labor Day, and I told my mom that you didn't like Jimmy Buffett music. She was shocked because
really,
you guys go to the beach
and the lake,
you're on the lake and stuff like that. So they've just probably
assumed
your parents do. Yeah. I mean, they figured it was probably just ingrained in your brain, and it was just kind of the what's the word I'm looking for? The contrarian.
I was indoctrinated. No, I'm not. No, I also hate country music because that's all they listened to growing up. So I can't
There's
stand.
Nothing wrong with country music.
Well,
certain country music. I'm
the
really
old
not
stuff.
into the new age country music.
No,
like
I don't blame you.
EDM stuff that they got going on. I know it's weird.
Yeah, no thanks. But he said I have poor taste in music, and I said, well, I'm sure Vinny would agree on that. So
I do.
Yes. My musical palette needs some cleaning, I believe.
It needs to be broader.
Bleached and start over.
Yes.
All right. Well, before we get to the rest of the show, we'd like to thank our partner In the Clutch for joining up here on Baseball and Whatever. In the Clutch is an awesome sports apparel company that is known for their licensed MLB, Negro League, and MLS apparel, along with great shirts to rep your favorite retro hockey, baseball, and football teams. Even better, head to intheclutch.com right now and at checkout use promo code BASEBALLANDWHAT and you will get 10% off your order. So once again, check out intheclutch.com, pick out a shirt you like, and at the discount code selection, put in baseball and what, all one word, and you will get off 10%. So there you go. Thank you to the folks over at In the Clutch. We appreciate it. Vinny, let's get to the baseball talk.
Baseball.
Welcome back to Major League Baseball. Sort of.
Taking a look at Chicago's two favorite teams and other happenings around the MLB.
All right. I don't know if I should issue an apology or eat crow or eat my hat, but last week I think I claimed the White Sox were officially done. Hang it up, White Sox fans. And now they've gone on like a little mini run, and now they're back to being 2 games out of the first place in the division. So, Vinny, yay or nay, on September 8th, Thursday, 2022, are the White Sox still in this race? Yes or no?
Officially turned around, guys. We are back, baby. We are fucking back. We are back. Classic. We are back. We are back.
Oh, I didn't know you had that queued up. Oh, wow. The Sox are back. All right, so right now they are tied. They are 2 games out of first place. Minnesota and them have the same winning percentage, so they're both 2 games out of first behind Cleveland. It is... I don't know how the White Sox are still in this race, but for you White Sox fans out there, I wish you nothing but the best. I hope this goes your way. I don't know if this is because Miguel Cairo has taken over and Tony's gone. I don't know if it's because, the other day Jose Abreu beat out a play at first. I mean, the team is hustling. You got poor Luis Robert, who I think just went on the IL. He was trying to swing with one arm because he couldn't take... It was painful to watch. Yeah, painful to watch because he's hurt. And I thought it was funny. There were people ragging on him, and it's like, okay, he's trying. He's not the one that's making the lineup. They're putting him in the lineup. He's not giving up. Like, I don't know what you want from him, so.
Exactly. I think it's just people are tired of him always being hurt. If it's not one thing, it's another with him, which I get. We saw that with Chris Bryant. It seemed like, if you actually look at games played, Chris Bryant didn't miss too many games, but it always seemed like he had something nagging and he would never, you can't really fault the player for trying to play through it. They're a competitor. So,
right.
I get it from Sox fans' point of view, because it always seems like there's something wrong with him, but at the same time, can't fault the guy for trying to play through it, especially if they're not going to take him out. That's kind of on the coaching staff to identify that and be like, you need to sit down, because sometimes a player needs to be told that.
Right. Yeah, no, you're spot on. I mean, right now the White Sox are up 6-0 against the A's. Dylan Cease is throwing another one-hitter, which is crazy. He threw a one-hitter last week, and we can get into you calling that almost no-hitter. The Twins are up in the bottom of the 9th on the Yankees 4-3, so if the Yankees can come back, that would kind of cut it to 1 game for the Twins and the White Sox to move closer to the Guardians, who are not playing tonight. They are off, so the White Sox can gain ground. Granted, it's only the second inning for the White Sox game, but... yeah, I don't know what led you to thinking that Dylan Cease was going to get a no-hitter last week, because I saw you tweet that, and then all of a sudden people were going crazy that he was so close.
Yeah, it was just one of those things. I was sitting there, I was eating dinner, and I was eating dinner by myself. The kids Gretchen had already eaten. She had was taking Will to karate that night, so it was just me and Em, and she was just playing on the ground. I was just sitting there. I was like, you know what? I think he's gonna throw a no-hitter tonight, and it was one of those things that that they had beaten the Twins last night, and it was just one of those things where it's like, I think they're just he's gonna shove tonight. He always does good in the division, I feel like, and it was I had a feeling it was gonna happen, and I kept checking my phone. I thought he was actually gonna do it until the last hitter. The last hitter second to last hitter he faced, and he went after Luis Ariz, and couldn't get it done.
So close.
Hats off to him for trying to go against the best hitter on the Twins, and just came up short. Just a little bloop single into right field, unfortunately, and couldn't get it done.
So close.
So close. I was really hoping I was going to call it. A lot of people were telling me that I jinxed it already before the game even began, and then people were shocked that he was going so deep into it. And I was like, all right, I actually did something right. I called it, and then he. I think I jinxed it by checking my phone too much, because I kind of sat there and I watched that last at bat on my phone, and then I saw he got a hit. So, yes, I ended up jinxing it in the end, I feel like.
Well, nobody's perfect, Vinny.
I'm not.
It could have been worse. It could have been worse. One of the other interesting tidbits that I saw, this is from Jay Kuda on Twitter. I can't remember if it's not Fangraphs. I'll have to double check what site he writes for, but he pulled up this stat for Yasmani Grandal, who has been having an atrocious season to say the least. This is interesting. Yasmani Grandal has been ahead in the count 2-0 a total of 56 times this season. He has 0 balls put in play and has swung just twice on 2-0 counts, the lowest 2-0 swing percentage ever. League average slugging on a 2-0 count is well over 600, and the OPS is around 1,000. He is having a rough year. So I don't know what he's doing. I believe he's got one more year on his contract, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think he signed a 4-year deal.
At least one more, yeah. It's not good.
Yeah, it's bad.
He was so good last year that this year he's been so bad, he's kind of made his last, his Sox tenure almost his career average, pretty much.
Yeah.
Last year he was out of this world, and this is kind of bringing himself back down to earth, crashing like a meteorite. It's not good.
I feel bad. He signed that gigantic contract, 4 years. I think it was the largest free agent contract, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
For the White Sox, yes. I never understood the hype for Yasmani Grandal. He had a good one season with the Brewers. He got benched in the World Series. If I feel like everybody forgets that he got benched by the Dodgers in the World Series because he was so bad behind the plate. He's never been a good defensive catcher. His bat's the only thing that's carried him, and I always felt like that was a little overrated. On his career, he has good years and he has bad years, and it kind of evens out to where he's just above average as a hitter, and that's kind of what's happening with his tenure. If you look at it overall, he's going to be just his career average,
right?
With the White Sox, it hasn't gotten any better, and now it's getting worse.
It's not good.
It's just I've never understood that hype for Yasmani Grandal, but.
No.
And did you see Herb? Also, it sounded like Herb was going to challenge Yasmani Grandal to another foot race.
Another? Oh, really?
Yeah, because he must have been slow out of the box again. And Herb had tweeted out that he goes, "I think I could outrun him." So someone had also quoted his tweet and saying, "Herb, you've already done that and you've hurt yourself. Let's not do that again."
Yes, there is still video on Twitter of him trying to run. I think it was was it a 100-yard dash, 60-yard dash?
It was 90. I think it was just trying to do 90 feet. Yeah.
Okay. And he was chugging along, and then he took a dive and went down like a sack of bricks.
Blew a tire and just biffed it.
Yeah. So,
but he's okay.
He's okay. He got back up, and I know Yasmani Grandal, I think, sent him over some merch or something too, or some memorabilia, and to kind of play along with it. The last thing we can talk about the White Sox, Paul Sullivan, writer for the Chicago Tribune, his article came out. His article came out this week entitled, "The White Sox Need Tony La Russa Back in the Dugout for the End of This Journey That Has Included More Ups and Downs, More Ridiculous Drama, and More Fan Angst Than Any Season in Recent Memory." My confusion is when you mention all those things that have happened this season with Tony at the helm, why would you want him back?
Right?
I don't. To me, that's like clickbait is what that is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Why? I don't understand. I don't understand.
Yeah, how do you write that headline and go, Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah,
like,
it checks out.
Everything that's gone on this season because of Tony.
Yeah.
Why do they don't need him back? Just have Tony just stay
sail
in
off
Arizona,
into the sunset. Yeah.
Yep. And say, okay, be done. We're done with you. Like that's enough, Tony. And just let Miguel Cairo finish the season out. Like.
Yeah,
and then go do a new coaching search, manager search this offseason.
And let Rick Hahn maybe actually control it. I don't know. Maybe Rick Hahn's, it's time for him to go too. I don't know. As a White Sox fan, I don't know. But
well, I don't know. Elvis Andrus just hit a home run tonight, so that worked out for him pretty well.
He's been
Johnny
doing
Cueto's
really well.
been pitching really well. So
that's true. That's true.
Maybe he gets one more crack at it. Who knows?
Yeah, he might. I mean, yeah, he's had some good pickups. AJ Pollock, not so much, but other guys, like you said, between Cueto and Elvis Andrus, picking him about the scrap heap, he's been contributing. So we'll see. Paul Sullivan doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
No, he doesn't.
I don't understand that article. But yeah, there you go. I don't have any other White Sox information. You got anything else?
Nope.
All right, let's go on to the Cubs. This is going to get interesting. So they called up, I can't remember his pronunciation, but they called up Hayden Wesneski to do some pitching. Wesneski, thank you. Wesneski was a Blackhawk, sorry. Yeah. James Wesneski. Wesneski, did I say that right? Wesneski. All right. They called him up. He was a part of the New York.
Or is it Wisniewski?
I don't know. Now you got me worried. I don't know what it is. Who the hell knows? They called him up. They got him by trading him to. They traded. Was that the Rizzo trade?
Scott Efros.
That was the Scott Efros trade. Sorry, to the Yankees. And holy cow! Obviously, he's projected to be a starting pitcher and possibly in the pitching rotation next year. But his slider is filthy. That thing has got so much break on it. I think he had 5 or 6 strikeouts in his first debut. He pitched, I want to say 4 or 5 innings. After
5+ innings.
5+? Okay. So he looked incredible. Obviously, there's going to be ups and downs, but I would love to see more of him in a starting role.
Yes. That'd be great.
Just absolutely incredible. So
yep, hopefully he'll probably be that long guy in the bullpen. Hopefully he stays. I don't think he's gotten sent back down yet.
No, not yet.
If someone's going to have to get DFA, they need to keep him up and just let him pitch out the rest of the season up in the majors. And actually, I think you spelled it wrong. On the outline to begin with, it is Wesneski. Now you have the W in there. That's why I was like, oh, maybe it is Wesneski.
My apologies.
So it's Wesneski. I was like, I didn't think that it was Wesneski.
There we
go.
Yes,
typo.
Mr.
Teacher.
Fat thumbs.
Yeah.
Wesneski. Sorry, that makes more sense. To go along with his stat line, Ryan Herrera of CHGO, who we are good friends with, Hayden Wesneski is the first pitcher since at least 1901 to make his MLB debut as a reliever, throw 5+ innings, allow 2 or fewer hits, and strike out 8+ batters. So, granted, I mean, it's the first start of a career, or not even a start, a first debut of a career. It could go a variety of ways, but that's a great way to start.
Yep.
Absolutely great way to start. Yeah, and I mean, the Cubs are just kind of going along. They lost again to the Reds today, which is depressing because it's the Reds. They lost yesterday to the Reds, which was really bad, 7-1. They beat the Reds on Tuesday. So I don't know. I mean, they're just kind of going along. The season's almost over. I was kind of disappointed. They said to see if they were going to get any rookies called up at the end of the year, or prospects, I should say. They said Matt Mervis will not be getting a call up, which I was kind of surprised.
I saw that. That's disappointing.
Yeah, because he is just raking, So I don't know.
It would have been a huge jump for him, though, because he started at high A this year. So
which is crazy.
Going from high A all the way to the majors would have been
nuts,
phenomenal for him.
Yeah.
And I think he deserved it. I would have liked to have seen what he could have done in the last few weeks this season. He's been hitting the cover off the ball down in AAA still. And at every level he's been at this season. So, yeah, it would have been nice if he would have gotten rewarded for that. But I'm not the one making that decision. So
Nope. So we'll see. We'll see what else happens the rest of the way. Got a few more weeks before the season winds down, and then we kind of just hope and pray for a fun off season. Unfortunately,
it should be.
Fingers crossed that it will be. But yeah, since the season's winding down, we don't really have a lot of Cubs talk unless there's anything else you'd like to share.
No, not at the moment.
Not at the moment. Okay. Lastly, before I jump to the playoff race and current standings, I thought it was very funny and interesting. If you remember a few weeks ago, or maybe even a month ago at this time, Freddie Freeman, the Dodgers and the Braves, the story broke that, maybe Freddie Freeman's agent turned down an offer that the Braves made, and it kind of upset Freddie Freeman that he had to go to LA and he couldn't stay in Atlanta. I want to say that was
2 months ago.
2 months ago. Okay,
that was around. I felt like before the All-Star break.
Yes, that's what okay, that makes more sense because it was very weird. Just how it kind of, as soon as it came up, it vanished. But Doug Gottlieb, who is the radio host who made all these claims about it, came out and had to issue an apology. He states this. It says, upon further vetting of my sources, a review of the lawsuit filed against me in this matter, and a direct conversation with the general manager of the Atlanta Braves, I believe it's Casey Close, I have learned that the conduct I alleged did not occur and that there is no credible basis for stating that it did. My ultimate investigation into this matter confirms that Casey Close, in fact, did communicate all offers to Freddie Freeman, and the sources I relied on were incorrect in no uncertain terms. I appreciate the damage this misinformation like this can cause, and have been in touch with Casey Close to apologize. I have deleted my tweet. I'm sorry, Casey Close was Freddie Freeman's agent, I believe. Yeah, like you're 2 months late, dude, and you're only doing this because there's a lawsuit against you now. Talk about a big mea culpa. Wow. Like, that's crazy. So
yeah, I mean, talk about not doing your job and vetting your sources. Like,
yeah, we do more research on this here podcast than it sounds like he did for that.
Yeah, I feel like we do a lot more research than most national people.
I think that just means we need
some. I guess maybe some. Maybe can't say most.
We need a higher not priority, but a higher. I don't know. We need to get raised. Yeah, we have a higher standard. Thank you than the others that are more first to tweet it and get it out there, even if it's wrong. So
yeah, we
don't do that here.
That's awful though. Like,
yeah,
how do you get to that point where you tweet it and maybe not even like, who are you talking with, and why aren't you like, oh hey, I have this source gave me this. Can you confirm this maybe with both parties? Because, if one did say it and one didn't, you would probably be like, well, okay, I have two sources versus, one. Yeah. I can feel confident in saying that. But, I would assume that if it didn't happen, the Braves would be like, yeah, that didn't happen. Like, we didn't, this offer wasn't made. Like, none of that's true. And that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But, I guess he's trying to make up for it, but it's just, I think, a little too late because he's got the lawsuit against him. So I think we all see right through that.
And I would hope that an apology is not going to stop that lawsuit. But I
hope not either.
I mean, because the damage is already done. I mean, you kind of, that poor agent, his credibility was lost for a little while because this guy was out there running his mouth. So
well, and didn't Freeman fire him too?
Yeah, he did.
So
so that he lost a client right there because of this douchebag that
I wonder how the commission breaks down.
That's a good question.
Does he lose any of it? Was it prorated based on years? I don't know how that works.
Could be.
Yeah,
that's a
very
very
unfortunate
good question.
If it would be.
So between that, I thought that was interesting, and I kind of with the playoff race starting to heat up. If you'd like, we can go through the standings real quick.
Do it.
Not too much going on here, but hold on. Let me pull up the wild card standings as well because that might be helpful. Let's see here. Why would I want? Okay, here we go. All right, in the regular season, we have the Yankees are in the AL East. They are still in the lead. However, they have been kind of in a free fall the last few weeks.
That's great.
Which has been great to see. The Yankee fans have been freaking out on Twitter. They are still in first. Tampa Bay is 4.5 games back. Toronto is 6 back, and Baltimore is 10.5. Those last three teams are knee-deep in the AL wildcard race, which we'll get to in a second. The aforementioned AL Central, the Guardians are in first. The Minnesota Twins, Greg's second favorite team, is a 1.5 games back, and the White Sox, as of right now, are 2 games back, but if they win tonight, they will be a 1.5 games back as well. The AL West, Houston is in the lead with 88-49 record, and then Seattle is 11 games back, but they are also fighting for a wild card spot. The last 3 teams in the AL West have all been eliminated already, which I kind of find funny. The NL East, the Mets are in the lead. Atlanta is a half game back. Philadelphia is 11.5 back, and then Miami and Washington have been eliminated. The NL Central, St. Louis is in first, and Milwaukee is in complete disarray. They are now 8 games back, as considering they were leading the division, 3-4 weeks ago?
Yeah, that's
rough.
That talk about a free fall there. That's they make that trade with San Diego, and it all
went to hell.
Yeah, and it's not like it's paid off for San Diego either. I mean, Hader's been demoted from the closer role too, so it hasn't worked out for anybody. Which is, I mean, I can't believe it. I talked with my boss, who's a big Brewers fan, and he said that the clubhouse, the demeanor had changed after they traded Hader away.
Oh, really?
So it seemed like that really messed with the clubhouse mojo. And
that just
vibe.
seemed like such a weird trade for a team that everything was going well. I feel like you would want to make small additions as opposed to make big changes like that. But what do I know? I'm sitting in my basement talking sports and not the general manager of a club. So
that's very true.
That is very true. And then lastly, the NL West, the Dodgers are in first. San Diego Padres are technically 19 games back while the rest of the division has been eliminated. Let's jump to that wild card. The way it's looking right now is the AL wild card. Remember, there are 3 teams that will be in the wild card position this year. Tampa Bay, Seattle, and Toronto are in the lead, and then Baltimore is 4.5 games back. And then you got Minnesota and the White Sox both about 7 games back. But I would imagine those 2 teams are not fighting for the wild card. They are fighting for the division. And then lastly, the NL wild card, we got the Braves, the Padres, and the Phillies with Milwaukee 2.5 back. So they are hanging on for dear life. They're still in that wild card race. We will see what happens. And I think that does it for our baseball talk. We could talk a little Bears. You want to talk a little Bears, Vinny?
Yeah, I do have hot or not.
Oh, do you?
Up here. I do.
All right.
Yep,
all right. Let's do it. Let's do it.
And now, folks, it's time for
Who's Hot?
So damn hot.
Oh, hot.
Because I'm a hot little potato right now.
And who's not?
I'm afraid their bed conditioners left me cold.
Freezing my royal Rastafarian name off.
This guy sucks.
All right, Vinny, take it away.
Who for the White Sox? We're only going to do White Sox and Cubs this week.
All right.
Who for the last week from, what's the dates here? 9/1 to 9/7. Who was hot this past week for the White Sox?
I'm going to go Elvis Andrus. I feel like he's the go-to.
Good
All
job.
Right.
Yes,
All right.
he was on fire. Elvis is alive and well.
He has not left the building.
No, he has not, and he's not dead. He is slashed 333, 375, 600 for an OPS of 975, a ISO of 267, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, a strikeout rate of 12.5%, and a walk rate of 6.3%, and a BABIP of 333 with a weighted runs created plus of 178. On fire.
Very nice.
Who was not hot this past week for the White Sox?
Ooh, not hot this week for the White Sox. I'm going to go, I don't know if he had enough games played, though. I'm going to go not Yohan Moncada. I'm going to go Yasmani Grandal. Dang. Who is it?
Yeah. It was Andrew Vaughn, surprisingly.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Slash 217, on-base percentage of 280, and a slugging percentage of 435 for an OPS of 715. Weighted runs created plus of 102, BABIP of 235, an ISO of 217, and a strikeout rate of 20% with 1 home run. So not good, not terrible. We've seen a lot worse, but it's just not good for Andrew Vaughn this past week.
Oof, rough.
Justin, for the Cubs, who was hot this past week?
I'm going to go Seiya Suzuki.
That is a
he's been turning it around, but okay, go ahead.
He was ranked 3rd in weighted runs created plus at 142, so he was very good this past week, but not the best hitter for the Cubs this past week. It was Yan Gomes.
Yan Gomes /438 with an on-base percentage of .438 and slugged .500 for an OPS of .938. He had a BABIP of .467, weighted runs created plus of .166, and ISO of was actually kind of weak. Is that doesn't make any sense. 0.063. So that's not a lot of. Unless it was, I don't know how that works out. Must have been a lot of singles, not a lot of doubles. But I don't know how his slugging's 500. I'm baffled by that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I have to dive into the numbers on that one because I would think that his ISO would be a lot higher if he's got a slugging of 500 and an average of 438. So yeah, I don't know. I'll have to dive into the numbers on why that's so low.
Yeah.
And let's see, a strikeout rate of 5.9% and a walk rate of 0.
Okay. Interesting.
Justin.
Yes.
Who was not hot this week?
God, I honestly don't know. Okay. I'm going to go Christopher Morel. Man, I'm batting not well this week.
No, you're probably batting as well as this guy. Nico Horner was not hot this week. He slashed 167 with an on-base percentage of .250 while slugging .278 for an OPS of .528, weighted runs created plus of 50, an ISO of 111, and a BABIP of 176, striking out only 5% of the time. So strikeout rate was pretty low.
Okay.
But yes, not good on the offensive front for Nico. Been a long season. I feel like this is almost like the most games he's played.
Yeah, it's probably the most
season.
he's ever played. Yeah, without a doubt.
So long season for him. I feel like it's starting to kind of wear on him. Still playing really good shortstop, but yeah, the batting average is dropping a little bit there for.
Gotcha.
They had a bad couple of weeks here now, so hopefully he can turn around at the end of the season.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. All right, well, I think that concludes our baseball talk. I don't know about you. I'm actually excited for the Bears game this week, so let's talk a little football.
All right. Manures of the Midway, where the guys talk the pile of horse crap that is the Chicago Bears.
When you consider the other choices, manure is actually pretty refreshing.
I'll be honest. If you would have told me like 3 months ago I'd be excited for Bears season to start, I would have said, you're crazy. What are you smoking? That's not me. That's not my style. I revel in the Bears mediocrity and bullshit that they normally have. But I am genuinely excited. I'm also being rational that I don't think this season, obviously I don't see a playoff berth. I don't see them winning the division or anything crazy like that. But I'm hoping for Justin Fields and, Mooney and Cole Kmet and, Tevin
David
Jenkins.
Montgomery?
Yes, thank you. Yes, I do like David Montgomery. I'm hoping for them to make improvements in next year. I know there's a couple of people on Twitter saying that. Oh God, I can't remember the name of the podcaster that used to work for ESPN. I don't remember his name, but saying that Justin Fields should demand a trade and that they haven't done anything to help him. Which I'm so tired of that narrative. They have like $100 million in cap space set aside for next year that they can get through this year, show what Justin Fields can do, show how the rookies are improving, and then next year, break the bank and bring in some guys that can help him out and go for a run. That's my philosophy. But I don't know, Vinny. What in terms of predictions? What do you want to make a prediction for this week's game?
God, I really hope the Bears win just to shut up the national media. Although I already know if the Bears win, I already know what they're going to say. Trey Lance wasn't ready.
He's not ready.
That's what the narrative is going to be. And supposedly now George Kittle's going to be out. The Bears, he didn't play when the Bears played him last year and they lost. So I don't know if that's going to, obviously that won't matter, but it would help if he's out. I really hope that it's a close game. It's not a blowout. Even if they lose, but I really hope they just come out and spank the 49ers. I feel like the 49ers are a beatable team early in the year. They usually get off to a slow start.
Yep.
I think the only year they didn't was the year they went to the Super Bowl, or they made not the Super Bowl. I saw somebody had posted what was it, the records that they started off at. I'm sorry, I got distracted. That the 49ers start off, and I think they had a really good year one year, and I think they won the division or something like that. But yeah, they're a gettable team. They could have won last year too.
They could have.
That's with Matt
true.
Nagy calling and running
the ineptitude
plays,
that is
so.
Matt Nagy. Yeah.
So.
Our buddies over at the Unbearable Sports Chicago Bears podcast are saying 2017 Bears win, bear down. So
I like that.
I like that. I could see that being the case. I'm very curious about the offensive line and the defensive line. I really want to see what they can do. Granted, they're still both works in progress. The fact that it sounds like, Coach Eberflus is going to commit more to the run game, which is something Matt Nagy, I don't even know if he knew what the run game was, because it was just like a wide open, let's just keep throwing and get Mitch Trubisky and Justin Fields killed in the backfield.
Going back to that, I remember Matt Nagy's first play. Do you remember what formation he ran?
It wasn't one of his bogus trick plays, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't the
an
I formation.
Old school formation.
Was it really? Was it like the I formation?
He ran the wishbone.
No way, really?
Yes.
And then he never ran it again.
No, I honestly don't think he did.
He tore that page out of his book. Yeah.
It was like, I think I was still on Facebook at the time, and I remember seeing like the Chicago Bears. Oh, Matt Nagy's part of the Bears tradition. He's running the wishbone. I'm like, all right, this guy's going to be,
something,
really diving, deep into playbooks, going old school, maybe mixing some, the RPO stuff. I don't think he ran the wishbone ever again. It was like, oh, okay, this, by year 2, I was already done with Matt Nagy.
It's one of those things like I don't want to get too excited and too hyped because I'll be the first to admit I bought into the Matt Nagy like hype train when he got the contract and signed and the press conference. I'm like, oh man, he's coming from Andy Reid. Like this is a shoe-in.
Yeah.
A little concerned that he never really got to call plays. So that was kind of fishy.
He did.
He did it. The one
plays for half a season. He did really well, and then
that playoff game he didn't do so hot as a play caller, right? So I don't know. So I have a different feeling this time around. The other story that broke here in Chicago was that Matt Eberflus requested that new turf be put in. I believe they used to have Kentucky bluegrass, and he wanted Bermuda grass put in. Which I know the whole premise was they wanted a more tighter grass to be a faster team to run on. My only concern is, doing this now in September when it's starting to get cold, is the grass really going to take root, so to speak? I don't know how that works. I'm not a botanist, but I don't know. Nor do I.
Father over there.
Yeah, I don't understand why they don't get a hold of the guy over at Guaranteed Rate.
The city would have to pay him.
Yeah, they have to. Yeah,
they can't afford that. They don't have that in the budget.
But at the same time, I think it's funny that they did this for the Bears because they are doing everything they can to like say, hey, it's cool. Don't you guys want to stick around? Soldier Field, new grass, woohoo!
Right?
Yeah. Poor Lori Lightfoot, she doesn't have a leg to stand on. She is screwed.
She's delusional. She still thinks she's got a chance.
Yeah, and then I know they've talked about bringing in another team, but it's like. It's the same problems you're going to have with another team too, right?
Exactly.
I mean, I think it's going to be. I would love to see a second team just to have that competition. I mean, and I'll be honest, if the Bears continue to be shitty and awful, then I have another team to follow. But the Unbearable Sports podcast also said new grass, and it's going to be raining on Sunday. That is correct. I know for me out in the southern burbs, I believe the forecast is like 63 and rain. So I would imagine a little bit cooler probably near the lake until it gets closer into winter, and then it'll warm up a little bit. Yeah, I think that field's going to be ripped up. I know. Yep. Oh God, who performed there this past week? Rammstein. You remember Rammstein? Yep. They just performed Du hast mich. That's the only song I know of theirs. It's my best German.
That's pretty good.
Thank you. I think it was good. I think it was Dan Bernstein on 670 The Score. They were asking him, like, would you go to a Rammstein concert? And he's like, being Jewish, there's something about a bunch of German guys up on stage screaming that kind of worries me.
Like, I can get that.
I'm like, I can get that. But yeah, so we'll see what the field looks like. I don't know. I'm excited. I think I texted you and Greg. I bought a a Khalil Mack jersey on sale for like $40 off of Fanatics. I haven't bought a Bears jersey ever. That's my first Bear jersey I've ever bought in 35 years.
Good job, Justin.
I have my other brother-in-law bought me a Brandon Marshall jersey, which I don't know. Brandon Marshall's kind of a goofball, so I don't wear that one too often. But yeah,
okay. He was a good receiver.
He was.
I mean,
he was good.
He's kind of goofball, but I mean, it's not like he. I don't
remember
really that bad. I don't know.
I honestly don't remember. Khalil Mack hasn't yet, and I feel like that's close enough to my own last name, so I was like, I can, that's cool. I'll roll with that. But we will see what happens. The other thing I thought was interesting is no Bear QB has ever thrown for 4,000 yards. I never realized that stat. I never knew that stat.
Wow.
Just heard that for the first time today.
I think that's I heard that stat. I think when they got Mitchell Trubisky.
Okay.
But it's kind of dumbfounding. You thought maybe Jay Cutler would have eclipsed 4,000. So I don't know. I hope Justin Fields can do it this year. He's got an extra game. I mean, he's got to be able to do it this year, right? They're going to
crossed.
Hopefully have a competent offense. I mean, that's the whole thing, right? This year we're looking for competency from the coaching staff.
Yeah, that's it.
That's real, and that's how low the bar is right now.
I just want
competency and just seeing the players kind of gel and kind of make that next, especially Justin Fields, make that next step.
Moral victories. Team loses, but Justin Fields played decent. I'll take it. Team loses, but the defense stood pretty tall and kept them in it. I'll take it. Which I guess that's lowering the bar, but considering where the bar has been in the past. We'll take it. So the only other thing for Bears is they issued a statement after Lori Lightfoot issued her statement this week that they kind of had some diagrams drawn up of what their little Bear city would look like at Arlington Heights, and I'm not gonna lie, it looked pretty cool.
It looks almost like the was it National Mall?
Yeah,
in DC,
yeah, it does in DC.
The big pond, the reflective pond or whatever you want to call that. Yes. By the in DC, was it the national? Is that Washington?
Washington Museum, not museum, memorial, right? Washington Memorial, yeah, or the Lincoln Memorial. It might be the Lincoln Memorial.
No,
Washington.
Yeah, it's Washington's giant spear.
That's right. Yeah. So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. They didn't really dive into what the stadium would look like. I feel like they kind of left that intentionally vague, but there was a lot of stuff about, they mentioned it would be enclosed, but they didn't say if it would be a retractable roof and all those things. And
Justin, can I ask you,
sure,
does it matter?
No.
It doesn't matter if it's retractable.
No.
I don't get the uproar over that. I saw Matt Spiegel had tweeted out, he goes, oh my gosh, it's not going to be retractable.
Make it a dome. Why does it have to be retractable? It's just going to cost more money.
And what do you care? It's not your, it's their money. Let them spend it how they want to. I mean, I guess if you're a citizen of Arlington Heights, Arlington Heights is not part of Cook County. I don't know what county they're part of. I'm sure.
DuPage or Lake. They might be one of those. So, I don't know which one.
If you're in those counties, I'm sure you're probably paying for some of that stadium.
Yeah,
so I guess
thanks everybody.
Would be able to have an uproar on what the plans are. But I mean, honestly, it's their money. They can spend it how they want to. If they don't want to pay for a retractable roof, we all see how the Brewers roof leaks every once in a while. So
it's garbage.
Do you really want a game upheld because it's raining out, but we have this giant waterfall because there's a hole in the roof? It just make it a dome, make it like the Vikings dome stadium.
I have no problem with that.
Coming in. I don't care.
I don't know.
It enclosed.
The whole Bears weather thing to me is so overblown out. And yes, it is a myth. I can't remember what the exact stat was. I want to say in the last 40 years, they are actually under 500 in weather under 40 degrees. So
see, there you go.
It's pointless, number one. Number two, going back that far back, I want something that's temperature controlled or temperate controlled, where these athletes are being paid multi-million-dollar deals. I don't want them getting hurt on some fluke thing that it's the dome's open, it's raining or it's snow because it's got to be Bears weather, and then someone blows an ACL out and there goes Justin Fields. You know what I mean? I'm past that. Put it in a dome. I'll be honest, I've been to one Bears game and I went in I think early October when it was 70 degrees. I would go to Bears games if I could get tickets if it was in a dome where I know I'm not going to be freezing my ass off outside. Right. Maybe that makes me a shitty fan, but I have no interest sitting in 0 degree weather watching a football game.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just me, but
I'd rather go to a game with the perfect conditions than be like, oh yeah, it's -0 out, and I was at that game. Like,
oh yeah,
I lost a toe at the Bear game because I got frostbite because it was so cold. No,
it was my pinky toe. It was useless. I didn't need it.
Yeah,
I think the pinky toe maintains your balance. But anyway, yes, I agree. So I'm all for that. But yeah, so we'll see. I'm gonna go 24-17 Bears.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. I'm also very excited for fantasy football season. I got a B ranking on our Yahoo draft, so
I got a C ranking.
Oh wow,
it was not good.
I'm just happy because I came up with a clever team name this year. So,
what's your team name?
Trey Lance Refrigeration.
Ah, good one.
See, yeah,
good one.
Yeah,
you have Trey Lance? You don't even have.
No, I don't even have Trey Lance. I have Patrick Mahomes and Justin Fields. All right,
trade for Trey Lance.
I'll let you know after this week. I'll let you know
after this week, after he throws 4 interceptions. You're
yes.
Tell me to take a hike.
Then I'll let you know. Yeah, if it goes well, I'll trade you Justin Fields for Trey Lance straight up. All right. On that note, let's get to our whatever topic. Let's go.
Now it's time for whatever.
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 Whatever you want. Whatever I want.
Whatever, dude. Irrelevant.
Whatever, dude.
All right. It is time for whatever. Vinny, would you like to take the segment over again?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Welcome to baseball. Baseball and whatever.
Wow, right? That was your best Greg impression. I liked it.
Yeah, that was my best Greg impression. Greg's not here, but he's here.
He's in spirit.
Right?
He's here. Yes.
So this week we are doing top 5 video games, any platform, any sporting. We kind of talked about this before, where we didn't really put racing games on there like Need for Speed.
Yeah.
But that's definitely, I feel like, allowable because racing is a sport.
Yep.
And yeah, I didn't have any on my list.
No, I had thought about adding Gran Turismo a couple times.
That's more of, I feel like more of that's more of a racing sport game than like a
NASCAR
Need for Speed
or an
Underground
F1
or a Most Wanted type of game where it's more street racing.
Yes.
But you can have those on your list if
you.
Yep, exactly. Just don't have more than one in a ranking spot.
Oh well, no. Who would I wouldn't do
right?
that. No, I wouldn't do that.
So, without further ado, Justin, do you want to go first?
Yeah. All right. I grabbed a handful of the games I had down here, but I forgot all my. Actually, no. This is a PS3 game, but it's over there. I didn't grab it. I forgot it. My number 5 is going to be NHL 14 for the PS3. I believe would have been for the PS3. It had Marty Brodeur on the cover. I think that was the year he retired. Overall, game's fine. I mean, they don't change those games much anymore. I'm hesitant to. I think I went from like NHL 2004 to NHL 19. I bought every game every year.
Wow.
And then I finally took a break because they weren't changing it much. But the cool thing about that game was when I really got into what they call the EASHL. So you could do 5-on-5 or 3-on-3. And you get a couple of your buddies online, and you each control a positional player, and then you play through a season against other people. So my buddy Matt and I got really into it. The 3-versus-3 mode was really cool. You know, we would draw up like plays off face-offs and things like that. You could design your own logo, your own uniform. Later versions of the game, you could design your own stadium, create your goal song, stuff like that. And then eventually we got his cousin to get on board with us, and we would do 3-on-3, and it was just literally like, God, there was a while when your sister was still working nights on the weekends, like we would just play like as many games of NHL 14 back to back against other people. And it's cool.
SOCOM flashbacks.
I was having SOCOM flashbacks, but with NHL, and this is my buddy that we had SOCOM flashbacks together.
Perfect.
But it was cool because it was like you could go up to upper divisions, kind of like a relegation and promotion system. So we have not. Gosh, it's probably been about 2 years because even up until like 19, we were still playing it. And then finally, it's like, you know what? This has just been the same thing for like 5-6 years in a row. We need to take a break. So this might be the year we get back into it. We'll see. I technically have NHL 23 pre-ordered because there was a glitch on the GameStop system, and it was like $25 off
Greg, I saw Greg was talking about
yes.
that. Yep.
So if maybe my pre-order will get canceled, and if it does, then I'll wait for a sale. But we'll see what happens. So yeah, my number 5 is NHL 14 with EA SHL. So there you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you guys didn't have like tryouts then, because you were only doing 3-on-3 and you already had somebody, so you didn't do tryouts to get on the team?
We actually, they do have like, you could invite people to come play so you could get to know them before you accept them on the team fully. And we had a couple people that we had come in and play, and we put them on the team. And this one kid, once we added him to the team, he's like, all right, you got to give me control over your uniforms. I want to change everything. And we're like,
oh boy,
no. We were rocking Hartford Whaler jerseys. You're not changing shit, man. Like, you're leaving us, leave that alone. I worked hard customizing those colors,
Right.
Yeah, he got kicked off the team real quick. So,
boy.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. They still do it. There's been a definite more push towards that than the regular like franchise dynasty mode stuff, but still a good time. So
nice.
Yeah.
All right. My number 5 is Backyard Soccer. Do you remember the Backyard? This is for PC?
Yes, I never played any of them, but I remember them always having ads in all the video game magazines I had as a kid.
They were, this one was really fun. I think I own Backyard Soccer and Backyard Football. This one of the two I thought was harder. I never finished it. I never finished an entire season because it was really long. You would move up to different levels. And I think the highest I got was like an indoor facility where you could, play the balls off the walls and stuff like that. But it was a lot of fun. This one, football had like NFL, like they had Dan Marino, Steve Young, John Elway in it. I want to say Jerry Rice was in it. So they had like NFL players in the game as kids, but the soccer one, I don't think they had anybody. Maybe they had a couple players, but I can't recall. But I just remember it was really fun. Those games always had like really good stats and like awards and stuff like that you try to win for your team. And yeah, the gameplay was a lot of fun and the commentary was good as well. But yeah, that made my number 5 Backyard Soccer.
Very nice. Unbearable Sports, the Chicago Bears podcast said Backyard Sports for the win. Yeah, I feel like I missed out, especially the Backyard Baseball. I've heard a lot of people talk about that game, and that's one thing, like, I still will buy some of the sports games occasionally, but I feel like those older games were just more fun to play. It didn't have like all the systems and, they weren't as tight. Yep. It was just more of a fun time, which I kind of miss because I feel like a lot of the current stuff doesn't have that anymore. So, but
I don't know, but I missed out on the baseball one.
Yeah.
I've heard that's good, but I was, like I said, I was never into baseball until I got older. So
sure.
I wouldn't have gotten that game. I'm like, it's baseball, whatever. I got football. That's what I was into.
That's your thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Good choice. Good choice. Very good choice.
All right, Justin.
What are we on? My number 4.
Number 4.
All right. I actually never owned my number 4, although I do have my little Retro Pie, which has the ROM on it. I've also never beaten this game, but I do remember renting it as a kid. I would have been like probably 4 or 5. This was back on the original Nintendo, and that is Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Did you ever play Punch-Out?
No.
Oh, it's a good game. It's almost like a fighting game because you really have to just memorize the moves of the other boxers. But the main character's name is Mac, Little Mac. So right there, I like him already because of my name. It's me. He had black hair though. I don't have black hair. But I mean, I guess I could dye it someday.
And
maybe for Christmas or for Halloween, not Christmas. For Halloween.
There you go.
Yes, but yeah. So I love the fact that each character, you're working your way through the different title bouts. There's Soda Popinski, which is the Russian, he was the Russian boxer who, in the unedited version, his name was actually Vodka Drakinsky. Nintendo made them change that.
Of course.
King Hippo is this giant guy that you gotta, when he drops his pants or his pants fall down, you gotta push him, you gotta punch him right in the stomach. No, I take that back. You punch him in the stomach, his pants fall down, and then you just keep uppercutting him and you knock him down once and you're good. But
what are you uppercutting?
He's a big guy. He was a real big guy. You're uppercutting his face. His face.
His head. His pants fall down?
Yes.
Oh, is it like going to pick his pants up?
Yes, he's going to pick his pants up, and then you uppercut him in the face. Yeah.
Oh, okay. There we go. Okay.
Because he's a bigger guy, so you hit him, and then his pants drop, and he keeps, he's got boxers on underneath. But that was a great one. I will be honest, I never even got to Mike Tyson. I never beat Mike Tyson. That game is like notoriously like one of the most impossible last levels to beat is Tyson. I've never gotten to him. I don't know how to beat him. But I do know there's quite a few people that have. And then originally they also had to reissue the game after Mike Tyson went to prison and all the I don't remember the allegations. Were they rape allegations or sexual harassment allegations? When that all broke, Nintendo actually pulled the game and then they re-edited Mike Tyson's character, turned him into a white guy and called him Mr. Dream. And then it was Mr. Dream's Punch Out. So I never played that version. I always played Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and that's the ROM I have.
Easier.
I think they changed his difficulty too, actually. But so yeah, that's my number 4, Mike Tyson's Punch Out for the NES. They made a game. They remade it for the Wii, which was actually a lot of fun. Didn't have Mike Tyson in it, but it was pretty good.
Nice. My number 4 is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Ooh, hold on.
We talked about that before on this podcast. It's such a great game.
Got it right there.
Loved the soundtrack to it. The ability to create your own park was awesome. The secrets in all the levels, trying to unlock those, I remember doing that. Was fun. I think at one point I just entered in the cheat code to get everything unlocked.
Oh yeah, I definitely did that.
That was another great thing, is having the cheat codes to have the unlimited special on, so you can just do your special tricks. Like the Spider-Man one was always my favorite.
Yes, I love the pizza guy. That was my favorite one.
Which one was that one?
They take the skateboard up and flip it up like a pizza delivery guy, and then they put it was a vert trick. It was only a vert trick. So
okay, all right.
And the grinding, the dark slide. I liked the dark slide too.
Yeah, those were fun games. Or all the Tony Hawk games were fun, but that one I played, I owned. So that one made my list at number 4.
Those are definitely on my honorable mention. I got Tony Hawk 2 for PlayStation here, and I have Tony Hawk 1 for N64. I bought for I bought that for like $3 from GameStop a couple of years ago. Definitely honorable mentions. Another honorable mention would be the Tony Hawk 1 and 2 HD collection for PS4 that came out last year. They redid it all so it looks modern, put all the old music back in. That game introduced me to so much music. I mean, there's still songs I listen to on Spotify and my iPod that I downloaded directly because of that game. So I know I wanted to get like a skateboard deck, like a Tony Hawk deck to put behind me for our little podcasting setup. And I told Erica I found like a cheap Tony Hawk one for like $30, and she's like, "You don't skateboard." I'm like, "Yeah, but Tony Hawk." Like, she didn't get it.
It looked cool.
It looked cool, and Tony Hawk is cool. Like, and he's still old.
People
and
would
he's still
think
cool.
people could think that you skateboard. It's
I
not like
did
you're gonna have to skateboard on the podcast. So
I did in middle school. All I could do was manual. Manual was all I could do. I couldn't ollie, couldn't kick flip, couldn't do nothing. I could just manual. So.
Right. You just manual, isn't that just going on the back of your board?
Yeah, you tilt it up so you're riding on 2 wheels on the back 2 wheels. That's it.
it.
That's all I could do. I couldn't do anything else.
Ooh,
yeah,
man, you're good.
Big spender,
Yep.
Yeah. So that's my. That was your number 4 or number 3. Number 4.
That was my number 4.
All right,
so number 3.
We're on my number 3. Okay, these 3 games I still play on a regular basis.
You get one.
No. I'm saying my top 3. My top 3. My number 3, my number 2, and number 1. Don't worry, there are no duplicates, Vinny. Unbearable Sports is Tony Hawk 2 got me into Rage Against the Machine. Yes. I remember I heard Guerrilla Radio. I think it was Guerrilla Radio. And then my buddy brought over Battle of Los Angeles. And that was in the days when I was burning CDs. And I totally burned that CD. And I still, I don't know where it's at now. I know I have it on my computer upstairs digitally. But Rage Against the Machine, the Dub Pistols, they had a song on there called Cyclone. I still listen to that song. Superman by Goldfinger is amazing. Yep. Oh God, I could go on and on.
Anthrax was on there.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
It was Anthrax and what's his name? Flavor Flav. I can't remember the.
Naughty by Nature. Papa Roach is on Tony Hawk 2.
Yep.
Rage Against the Machine. Yeah. Yeah, there's so much good stuff. All right, my number 3 though. This, like I said, this is a game I don't play it on the original console anymore. I just play it on the little retro Pi that I have, and I think it's very relevant because of a certain someone we talked about on this podcast, and we talk about every week on this podcast, and that is Tony La Russa Baseball, 1995. It's great. It's got him in an Oakland A's coat and uniform. I think it's funny that they did not have the MLB license, so they had to like Photoshop the A,
That's
and
great.
they also, but they had the Players Union license, so all the players are there. The teams just have Unbearable Sports says Public Enemy. Thank you. That's correct. Public Enemy is right.
Yes, thank you.
Love that game. It's so cheesy because before every game, there's a little picture of Tony La Russa that pops up and he gives some bullshit advice about what you should do. But I just loved it. I loved RBI 94. I had that too. Yes, that is an actual game. Hold on, let me hold it up again. Tony La Russa Baseball, 1995, EA Sports. Before I think they changed it to Triple Play after that, and then MVP. But yeah, it was so cool because like that was the first baseball game where you had to warm up the pitcher, and you could flash over to like the bullpen and you could see them warming up. And then I thought it was so funny, like when you took them out, they would say that they were sent to the showers, and they would have like a pixelated shower, and the guy would just have like the water hitting them in the face. It was strange, yeah. But love
Tony
that
made
game.
Sure that was added in.
Tony had full carte blanche to put what he wanted in the game. But it was definitely a simulation game. Not the best, but it was one I played a ton and I enjoyed more than RBI 94, although that's a great game too. There was only like 5 stadiums in it though, which is kind of weird. Wrigley Field was in it, Fenway.
Polo Grounds?
But no, not the Polo Grounds. I think would have been Jack Kauffman Stadium, I think was in it. It was like 5, I don't know. And they had random names. They weren't the Astrodome was in it too. They weren't called that though.
Okay.
But yeah, just a great game. I loved it. It the sound effects aren't that great by today's standards, but great game. Highly recommend. Go watch a video of it. You'll probably think I'm crazy, but that game has a soft spot in my heart for sure. Tony La Russa Baseball.
Tony does.
Yeah. Oh no, we're good there. I don't want him anywhere near the Cubs. No, thank you. But that is my number 3, Tony La Russa Baseball 95.
Nice. All right. Yeah, I've never played that one. So.
Next time you're over, or next time we're together, I'll bring the Retro Pie. We can play that.
I was gonna say I have a Retro Pie. I have Greg's
do you?
Retro Pie. Yeah, I still have that.
Then it's definitely on there. It's definitely on there,
I'll
Vinny.
I'll have to give it a play then.
The music is great. It's and by great I mean not, but it's
I was gonna say, is it as great as Tony Hawk?
No.
Okay.
No,
all right then. I'll look forward to it then. My number 3 was Madden 06.
Donovan McNabb on the cover? Yeah.
Yes, that one was so much fun. The franchise mode in that was great. I remember that. You could like upgrade the stadium, I believe, with like heated seats and like do all this random stuff. You could hire players. They would end up becoming coaches, so you could hire them as coaches for your team. The franchise mode in that was great. And I think it was like a couple more years where it was like good like that, and then it was no more.
Yeah, then they started pulling stuff out for the next batch of consoles.
For the online stuff. Yeah, unfortunately, where I played that a ton my senior year in high school. But yeah, I was always the Bears. I think I moved the Bears one year to Mexico City. Because you could move the franchise, so I was like,
you could relocate.
I think I was just looking for the biggest population, just so I could get the most money, and so I ended up moving the Bears to Mexico City because they had over like 100 million people, and I was like, oh yeah, totally bring in the revenue. And it was like, well, this is like probably the most damning thing that would ever happen in the NFL if the Bears up and moved to Mexico City.
Virginia McCaskey's rolling in over in her grave, and she's not even dead yet.
She could be hey, who's to say Virginia wouldn't want to stay at a resort down there?
Yeah, well, I mean, she could. Like Playa del Carmen, Cancun, flying in for the games in Mexico City.
Exactly.
I thought it was funny.
06.
Man 06 is great. I had that one as well. I do remember the Tony Bruno show that Unbearable Sports brings up. I didn't play a lot of franchise in 06. I played, was it the Superstar mode where you were like the quarterback and you would get drafted?
Person, yeah.
Yes. And I remember I played that a lot. And I remember always being a quarterback. And I think the one that I played the longest was I got drafted by the Bills. And this would have been when they were horrible. And I took the Bills. I played them for a while. So yeah, that 06 game was good. One of the better ones. I keep looking to see if this year's Madden is any good. I haven't heard. I've heard it was decent, but I don't know.
I haven't bought a Madden since like 2012.
Yeah, it's been
but
a while.
I only have an Xbox 360, so
that's true. And then I'm kind of thinking like next year they're bringing back the NCAA football games, and I play those a lot more than Madden, or at least I did in high school and college. So
I think I had NCAA 06, and you could take, or was it the 06 one, or was that the year you could take the player from NCAA and then import him into Madden,
the draft
and
classes,
have him do the superstar mode and everything.
That sounds about right.
That was a lot of fun.
Right.
I was not expecting my player when I took him from NCAA to be that bad when he went to the NFL, because he was like a Heisman winner running back, and then I was like, oh, he's gonna be like a superstar, because whenever you did the superstar mode, your player started off so crappy.
Oh, they were horrible.
Unless you were like perfect in all the drills, which some of the drills were really hard to do.
Yeah.
But then I remember taking the player, and I was like, oh yeah, he's going to be awesome. He's a Heisman winner. And then he was still bad, and I was like, well, this I played all those games in NCAA football for what?
For nothing. Yeah.
For absolutely nothing.
Oh man.
But I digress. Justin,
my number
we're on to
two.
Number two.
My number two. Hold on here.
Uh-oh. Justin, I think we lost you. Now I'm doing this on my own. All right. Well, Justin, as we wait for you to get back to your number two, I guess I will go forward with my number two, and that is Tiger Woods 08 for the Wii. I don't know if anybody out there listening has played that.
Sorry, Vinny. I don't know what happened. The whole damn thing crashed on me.
Oh my gosh! I was trying to do my best. Oh God! And Dr. Mantis in the
chat.
The chat was ready to talk about
some pizza.
Some pizza. I was not. I was prepared.
The
to
look
do
on
this
your
on
face
my own.
when I got back right now was priceless. I could frame that on my wall.
I was prepared to do it on my own. There was probably like a good 30-second lull in there where I kind of was just staring at the screen, panicking, going, I'm going to have to do this on my own.
I don't know what happened. I went to play the music I had prepped up for my number two, and the whole damn StreamYard just died on me. I don't know what happened there. So
we're going to reverse here. I've already told Dr. Mantis and anybody else that's listening my number two. So, Justin, did you hear my number two?
I believe it was the Tiger Woods game, right?
It was Tiger Woods 08 for the Wii Sports. For the Wii, not Wii Sports, but that's a completely different game. But for the Wii, I played this a lot. It was a lot of fun because you could create your own golfer and then play like every tournament, which was really long. I didn't realize how many tournaments there were, but then you could do the majors and then get invited to the FedEx Cup at the end based on earnings. So yeah, Tiger Woods, you could upgrade like your gear, your stats, the clubs you used, which would have an effect on how well you played. And I think that was the only time, it is the only time in my life in video games or in real life that I actually got a hole-in-one.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually felt good about it because you do the swing motion and everything.
Yeah.
And, man, it was right on the line, and got a hole-in-one. I was pretty proud of myself, although it's just a video game, so it doesn't really.
It's never
count.
just a video game, Vinny.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
That was my number two, Tiger Woods 08. Justin,
great choice.
Let's hear your number two, and hopefully you don't crash, because then I'll have to go to my number one.
Oh, man. All right, here we go. Well, Vinny, I'm just going to say, the way that you took care of that while I was gone just shows that you were...
He's on fire!
On fire! So to you I say...
Boom shakalaka!
All right, so my number two is the one, the only... Hold on, I even brought... oh, wait, no, I didn't. I don't have that. Is NBA Jam for the Sega Genesis or Super NES, I guess, but I only had a Sega Genesis. I still play this game to this day as well when I have nothing going on and I don't have to... I can take off my dad hat for a little while. This game got me into basketball. Like, I didn't give two shits about basketball. I didn't care about the Bulls because this came out in... Hold on here. This came out copyright 93.
You didn't care about the Bulls in 93?
In 93, I was 5.5. I mean, I remember watching the games, but I didn't care. I mean...
Oh man.
So this got me into basketball. I also didn't really know much about Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan was not in this game. He would not give his likeness for this game.
True.
So it was just Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant. This got me into basketball, and then obviously 94 is when I really got into it, but he was already gone. So I remember the Rockets won the championship 94, 95, and then when Michael came back for the second three-peat, I was all in. I watched every game. I had jerseys. I had all that stuff. So classic game, classic soundtrack, classic sound effects. Like I said,
boom shakalaka. He's on fire.
I could just hit these buttons all day.
He's on fire.
All right. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up now. Vinny, what's your number
Justin.
one? Yes.
No, we're gonna go back to you.
We're flipping back.
One. Yep, we're gonna snake draft this one.
Ooh. All right. All right. Here we go. Here's my number one.
Of course.
All right. That's enough of that. I think that's the theme music for NHL 94. But NHL 94 is a great game. I rented that a ton. I loved that game because when you got a hat trick, they would actually throw hats on the ice, which was like blew my mind as a kid. But for Christmas, 1994 Christmas, I remember my grandparents bought me NHL 95. And I literally, if the cartridge could have like, I don't know, rusted from overuse, that's how much I played this.
Nice.
Between this and Mighty Ducks that's what got me into hockey, was renting this game and learning the rules. I know we've talked about this on one of the episodes, I'm sure, but like, love the music, love the sound effects. I didn't upload any of the sound effects, did I? No. But anyway, great game. 95 plays a little bit faster than 94, but the sounds of, checking people, going to the penalty box. When you go to the penalty box, they zoom up on the like Jumbotron and they have like the little lights pop up saying who's in the box and for what penalty. I remember I couldn't figure out the concept of icing as a kid. I did not understand.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't understand that at all, so I would turn that off usually. Same thing, offsides I kind of got. And then roughing, not roughing, goaltender interference. I could not understand, like, why can't I hit the goalie? Every time I bump into the goalie, I get interference. Granted, as an adult, I understand that it's very important not to beat up the other goalie.
Yes.
But yeah, like, I remember I played that game a ton. Actually, I played all three of these a ton. My parents played these a lot with me, which was nice enough of them. But I remember playing NBA Jam with my mom and NHL 95, and I think my dad played NHL 95 with me a little bit, but yeah, it's great. I still play it to this day. A couple years ago, I think it was NHL 20 released like an updated version of it with the current players, and they put it in HD. It was a lot of fun. I still play that on my PS5, but there's no online play. They kind of missed the boat on that one. But that is my favorite game of all time. Maybe not all. Might be my favorite game of all time. It's in the top 3. Yeah. So, that is my number one sports game, NHL 95.
Nice. I remember playing. I don't know which NHL game it was, but yeah, with the icing and the offsides, turning that off because it was kind of confusing. I only played hockey on video games and I never watched, and I had no idea about any of that stuff, and it was always tough. So yeah, whenever I would play with my friend at his house, he would turn it off just because it was kind of a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
It kind of slowed it down, right?
It did.
You just cleared the puck, and then it was, it's icing, so you got to bring it. It's like, well, no, I just want to keep playing. I don't want to have to keep doing face-offs because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So, yes, I totally respect that because that's what I used to do when I'd play with my friends. So
very cool.
All right,
I'm dying to know yours, Vinny.
My number one shouldn't be any surprise, but this is FIFA 08 is my number one.
Okay.
This again, it's for the franchise mode on it. It was one of the better ones. You could schedule practices. Players would get better because of scheduling practices. The budget was a big factor, and winning and losing played into that because of different ticket revenues. So if you were on a winning streak, you would get more revenue, which helped your ability to buy players. The team morale was a big aspect of it. Guys would play better if the team morale was higher, and it would go higher because you were on a winning streak and stuff like that. So that was a really fun game. And I played that a ton. It came out in September of 2007. And I played that a ton my senior year in high school.
Very cool.
Way more than I probably should have because I probably should have been studying.
It worked out okay for you.
Yeah, it did. It was all right. So, yeah, FIFA 08 is my number one game.
Very nice. Do you want to do honorable mentions and then do what people that wrote in, or do you not have any honorable mentions?
Oh, I have honorable mentions. We can do those. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. You want to go first?
Sure. All right. I have a bunch. Like I said, Tony Hawk, 1 and 2. For football, NFL Blitz. Love NFL Blitz. Still play that.
Nice.
This one was the first college football game I got, and I can't wait for the next one to come back. And that is NCAA 03. I think this is Detroit superstar Joey Harrington. If you remember Joey Harrington, I think this is
oh my god,
when he was an Oregon Duck. There you go. NHL Hits 2002. God, man,
nice.
20 years ago. This was just like Blitz, but for hockey. This one I know Greg and I have talked about. MVP 04. This was EA's. I remember in high school, I think this would have been my senior year or junior year. I played this so much the PlayStation broke the disc. So I waited.
Wow.
So I played it way too much. But going back, it's kind of hard to go back to. So that's why it wasn't in my top ones. MLB Pennant Race, first PlayStation 1 game I ever owned. Jerry Coleman, former Padres announcer, was on there. This one, one of my favorite basketball games because I love the music. I think this might actually be my ringtone. And that's, I don't know why I put Phoenix Sun sticker over it, but that is NBA Live 97.
Okay.
This music is a jam, by the way.
It's good.
That's my ringtone right now. And then lastly, going for soccer, FIFA International Soccer for the Sega Genesis.
Nice.
This is actually a really good game. I never played as Team USA. I would always play as just the nationalities that my family was.
Okay.
So I'd be like Team Sweden, Team Ireland, Team Poland.
Nice.
That was about it. Never played Team Brazil because I think they were like superstars at that point. Whoops, sorry. Trying to play more of that
late
music
night
for
with
you.
Justin McAwee.
Boom shakalaka!
All right. So those are mine. Everybody's Golf is another one, which is one of the that's the newest Hot Shots Golf. I played that a ton.
Okay.
Yeah, Mario Golf is also very good too.
Yep.
So there you go. Those are mine.
Nice.
What about you?
I was going to say with the international soccer, I think I had that for the PC.
Okay.
If I recall, that was a fun game.
It was. I used to love getting yellow cards and red cards because I didn't really understand what it was until
Could you run away from the ref in that game?
I think you could.
If you get a card, you could just run your player.
Yeah.
You could keep moving your player, and the ref would have to chase you around.
I think you could. I love the fact on the back of the box, this is the most realistic soccer game to date. The graphics and sound are amazing, and they're literally like 16-bit sprites. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But what are you going to do?
It wasn't at all.
Bicycle kicks, diving headers, and slide tackles, right? They've got the L and the E. Bring FIFA soccer to life. More animations than any other sport.
Oh, man.
1993.
Yes.
There you go.
Well, my honorable mentions are FIFA 98, a backyard football, NHL Hits, which I have to say that's probably the best.
That's a good game
of those types of games because they had a baseball one too.
Yeah,
you remember that one?
Was it Slugfest?
Yeah, where you could slide tackle.
Yeah,
the players like on the bases, and you could hurt like the base runner and injure them so they're slower and they can't steal bases. But there was too much going on with
I
that.
agree.
Where with like NHL Blitz and Hits, it's kind of more fast paced and couldn't really do that with baseball.
No.
It was I don't know. It wasn't as I thought that was probably the weakest one of the three, but NHL Hits I thought was fantastic. That
Great
was probably
game.
the best one out of the three. NFL Blitz, NBA Jam, Wii Sports, and Mario Tennis were my honorable mentions. So, yes, those good games. Yours were good as well.
I would love a Mario hockey game. I don't know what that would look like, but I would love.
That would be good. I think you could.
Yeah,
you could get away with that.
I think so. I mean, I
also like that Mario Strikers.
That was fun
too.
that we played
that
with
was
Greg.
A lot of fun. I wish we could have played it some more, but Pretzel Vince wasn't having it.
No,
he wanted to golf.
He wanted to golf.
It was much more his pace. He did not understand the fast-paced nature of.
Next
Mario
time we all get
Strikers.
together, the three of us we'll play. I think it's Super Strikers or Strikers or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Play
that. But that was pretty fun.
I loved. We had a bunch of people write in. Do we want to get through this real quick and then we can call it a night?
Sure.
All right. I'll take the first one. Zach writes in, favorite sports games are EA Triple Play 97. I remember that. I think the commercial had like a a CG like version of like Alex Rodriguez like at a press conference or something. Tiger Woods 04 and 05, Thrasher Skate and Destroy, and NFL Blitz 2001. All great choices, Zach.
Interesting. Did you ever play Thrasher Skate?
No, I was strictly a Tony Hawk guy, and I had a demo of Grind Session, which was like Sony's Tony Hawk game. It was like there, and it was decent, but I never bought it. I was always just Tony Hawk.
Okay. Going back to your honorable mentions, the baseball, which one was that?
MVP 04.
What was the opening song to that?
God.
Was it Tessie?
Let me see if I can find it. You keep reading. I'll see if I can find it.
I'll go. Trent writes in, if Crash Team Racing counts, then that is my favorite sports game without a doubt. Yes, it does. I guess we'll say it counts. It's a racing game. I guess you could have said Mario Kart if you wanted to. Racing does count. So yes, Crash Team Racing does count, and that is a phenomenal
That
game.
is a great game.
Trent.
Great choice. MVP 04. Oh, God, I bought some of these songs on iTunes, or maybe I downloaded them on LimeWire. Chronic Future, Time and Time Again, Lucky Boys Confusion, Snow Patrol Spitting Games, that's a great song. Stereogram, Walkie Talkie Man, do you remember that song? Probably not.
No.
Von Bondi's Come On, that's the theme song to Rescue Me. But no, that is the only, I do not see, what was the name of the song you said?
It's Tessie by Dropkick Murphys. That was in 2005.
Okay,
MVP
that makes
baseball,
sense. That makes sense. So, okay.
Yeah, I played that one a lot. That was a good game. So
good choice.
Never played 04.
Jordan writes in. He said NCAA football and NBA Jam. Yeah, I am so excited for them to bring that back. I hope EA doesn't screw it up. I mean, it's been a long time, but
they always do.
They probably will. So yeah, there you go.
Dr. Mantis writes in. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. NBA Street Volume 2, Mario Tennis, NFL Blitz, and FIFA 10. Good
Very
games.
Nice. Before we get to Michael's, I'm gonna read this story from Ed because he texted it to me, and I can try and explain what was going on. So Ed is one of the guys that I used to play softball with. He is very good friends with your cousin Mark and my friend Mark, Vinny. So he said, me, Mark, and my brother Jim played Madden seasons together for years. This was before online gaming was around. We would literally drive to each other's house with our memory cards, or Mark would come over and play one of us before my brother would go to school. Good times. Anyway, the specific time I would remember was I would always beat my brother Jim. Jim would always beat Mark, and Mark would always beat me. I was playing Mark in the playoffs. I knew I couldn't beat him straight up, so taking a page out of the Dolphins playbook, I decided to try my own version of the Wildcat offense. Donnie Avery was the fastest wide receiver in the game with the best throwing power and accuracy, so I traded for him and started him at QB. I would drop back to throw and then just run with him. It took Mark until the second half to be able to figure out how to stop me, and by then it was too late. My gimmick offense worked, although the strategy made Mark the nicest person in the world. He was incredibly frustrated and angry, so I quickly saved the game and left the house. I remember I was in a NCAA 07 league, online league, and somebody did that, and I reported him, and he got kicked out of the league.
Oh, wow. You're mean.
Don't do that. That's not how football works.
What are you talking about?
This was before the Wildcat. I mean...
Gosh.
There was a rule. It said your position players have to play their position. You can't insert people to play quarterback. That was the rule. It was in the bylaws of this online league I was a part of.
Well, if it's in the bylaws,
it was in the bylaws,
but that's ridiculous.
This kid, he was a Texas fan, and it was whoever the running back on Texas was at the time. This would have been 06, 07. And I remember it pissed me off because I could not stop him.
Was it Cedric Benson?
Oh, it might have been. Was that 06? 05? 04 maybe?
Ooh, it might have been.
And I couldn't stop that guy running. I got so mad. So I'm like, hey, I don't care if we're not going to take this seriously, but are we doing this or not? And they're like, oh no, he shouldn't have done that. And they kicked him out of the league.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm kind of a jerk, I know.
Justin, you jerk.
I'm a narc.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry. All right.
Benson's dead?
Is he really?
Motorcycle accident.
Oh God, was that recent? I feel like that was recent. If it was
2019.
Wow,
I didn't
realize that either. That's a shame.
Wow.
Way to bring the podcast down, Vinny.
Wow, really killed the mood of that.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Ed, thank you for the story. Yes, Mark is one of the nicest people in the world, so I can't imagine him getting mad, but I know I got frustrated when somebody did that to me, but and he also texted me for Mark's 40th birthday. He got a t-shirt that said Donnie Avery on it and wore it.
Oh, that's funny.
I thought that was pretty funny. So,
that's great.
All right, I'll pass it back to you. Go ahead.
All right. Michael writes in any of the backyard sports games with Pablo, Dante, and Wheelchair Kenny with Gooch and Sunny Day on the mic. Yes, those are.
Yeah, I feel like I missed out. I think I would have liked those.
Really wish they'd bring those back, but I don't. I think they tried to, and it wasn't.
It didn't pan out.
No.
Kyle writes in, NBA Jam is in his top 3. He also said NCAA 2001. He always felt those were better than Madden. Yeah, I just liked that there were so many teams to play as. Like, that's what drew my attention to it. It wasn't just the 32 NFL teams at this point.
Yeah.
So there you go. Thanks, Kyle.
Nice. What was the NCAA?
01. He said 01.
You.
03. 03.
03? Yeah, that was Cedric Benson was there in 03.
Was he really?
So it might have been him that you got ran on. Greg writes in, this is your friend
my
Greg,
buddy Greg, yes, correct. Not host Greg, yes.
Yep. Greg writes in, the greatest sports games of all time are certainly Little League Baseball, Baseball Stars, Tecmo Super Bowl, Blades of Steel, and NBA Jam. Blades of Steel, the movie?
No, that's an NES game. That was maybe the first or second hockey game on the Nintendo.
I was going to say, I didn't think they made a figure skating game off that movie. I didn't think it was that popular of a movie.
No, that was cool. That was a popular one because you could literally fight. Like if you got people enough, they would literally it would cut to a different screen and you would just be throwing punches. I don't know why I'm doing this, but you'd be throwing punches back at each other. It was
you look like a Rock'em Sock'em Robot.
That's pretty much what they look like in the game. I'm dead serious.
Really?
Yes. Melissa writes in, Blades of Steel, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. When they were kids, she said they had an activity pad for track and field. That was awesome. You jumped hurdles. It was so cool. I had track and field, too, as a kid, and I just remember, like, the racing, the 100-yard dash, like, you would just have to go back and forth, hitting the 2 buttons as fast as you could. And as a kid, I had no, like, dexterity. I couldn't do it, so I didn't play it as much. But, yeah, I do remember that trackpad. It was like you could use the controller instead and run on it. Good choices. Yeah, very cool.
Mark writes in Tecmo Super Bowl or Tecmo Bowl and Madden.
Yes. So hopefully he's still, recovering from his Donnie Avery loss, but I'm wishing him all the best there. Mike T writes in, Tecmo Super Bowl still ranks as one of the best video games of all time. Bo Jackson was unstoppable. NHL 94 is probably my slight favorite, though. My buddies and I played those nonstop with endless tournaments. Yes, I never played Tecmo Bowl or Tecmo Super Bowl until I bought a Switch, and on the online service for like $2 a month, that's one of the free games you can play. So I've gone back and played it. It's actually a lot of fun. But
nice.
But yeah.
Matt writes in NHL 14 online 3v3, and Kevin writes in love MLB The Show.
Good choices. Good.
Does Greg?
As does Greg. Yes, he is Mr. MLB The Show. Nobody, I don't know anybody that loves that game more than him. They need to put him on the cover of the next one.
They could, or just let him be the producer of the game.
Yeah, I think he would be able to fix it.
To be in it.
Yes, or give him control of the graphic design. Let him design the cover in Canva. He'd be fine with that. I think so. Well, I think that does it.
It does.
We made it. So thank you guys if you're still listening. Just some show notes. We might be taking a few weeks off. Vinny's got a lot going on. Greg's got a lot going on. Unless maybe I'll try and do a solo show. I know it depends how.
Hey, I just did a solo show.
And how was it for 30 seconds? Was it easy?
It wasn't bad. I was prepared to keep going. In the heat of the moment, I was the adrenaline was pumping, so I was ready to go. But
maybe I'll give it a shot. We'll see. Or maybe I can talk somebody into coming on to being a guest, and I can pick their brain.
Pretzel Vince on with you.
There we go. I can talk to your dad about the Bears, and we can do a breakdown. We'll see. But so look for us. Either I'll be putting something up next week, or we'll take a little mini break, and then we'll be back with more fun. Vinny, you got anything else?
I had something. I forgot what it was.
I hate when that happens. That's the worst.
We started talking about video games, and whatever the sports thing I had went right out my brain.
Well, It's all right. Well, okay, so hopefully we'll get a Bears win on Sunday. Hopefully the White Sox, if you're a White Sox fan, hopefully they will keep pushing strong. I believe they're now a game and a half behind in the division, so go White Sox if you're a White Sox fan. Cubs, keep just showing off the prospects, I guess. I don't know. And
yeah, right.
That's all I got. So again, if you want to write in, tell us your favorite sports games. Tell us what you think of the Bears. Feel free to do so. Email us at baseballwhatever@gmail.com. Tweet us at baseballonwhat. You can also text us at 1-913-808-3278. That number again is 1-913-808-FART. And also be sure to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube at youtube.com/baseballwhatever. We are up to like 125 subscribers now on YouTube. I don't know when those jumped up, but it's awesome. So we will be back. We'll be back in some form either in a couple weeks, or I will be back next week talking to myself. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if I could do that for an hour. That'd be really rough. That'd be really rough. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. It'll just be me bitching about the Bears. Thank you, Vinny. I appreciate that. All right. Well, we will be back in some form or another in the near future. We are Baseball and Whatever. Have a great weekend, and we will see you when we see you. Take care, everybody.
See you.